Good morning to everyone. So I welcome you all for today's seminar. There are 3 seminars today. First, I will invite Mr. Bharath to present the seminar on COVID-19 related agriculture effects. Bharath, over to you. You can start making your presentation now.
Okay. A very good morning for all of you, for all the professors and my senior friends and my friends. India is a land of billions of people with millions of habits, with lakhs of cultures and thousands of languages. In spite, we have all of this classification and diversification, but the single invisible novel coronavirus did not differentiate any one of us and created the havoc in the entire world and also in India. With this background, I would like to welcome all of you for my first presentation seminar on food and economic security of farmers under COVID-19. Let's see. India is a land of agriculture, and the 2.4% of the land is occupied by India in the world. And when we see the agriculture, Indian agriculture is the foundation of Indian economy, and it is mainly responsible for the contribute of capital formation, and it makes a provision for food and ever increasing population, and also day by year after the Green Revolution, the food production is increasing for maintaining of our ever increasing population, and also the contribution of the country towards the contribution of agriculture towards the gross value added is about 16.5%. Agriculture influences the national income also, and agriculture is the one of the source for many 1.3 billion people of their livelihoods, and also it is responsible for maintaining our livelihoods of 58% of the workforce, and it creates 44% of the employment also. India is the second largest arable land area in the world and also a coastline of about 7,500 kilometers. And India stands first in the production of milk, pulses, spice, tea, and jute, and also stands second in the fruits and vegetables, poultry, rice, wheat, fish, cotton, etc. When you see the GDP, when you see the agriculture contribution towards the GDP, it is gradually declining because more the urbanization and also improvement in modernization and also migration takes place from the rural to the urban city. Therefore, the GDP growth is being decreasing. The 2019 GDP contribution from agriculture towards Indian GDP is about 15.96%. And this is the various workforce across economic sectors from 2014 to 2020. That is, see, the agriculture is gradually decreasing from 45% up to 41% due to the migration activities and also modernization and urbanization activities. Here, the industrial sectors and the service sectors are increasing day by day. With this, I will frame the objectives like this to understand the alterations of farmers' food and economic security under COVID-19, to discuss the government interventions on food and economic security during COVID-19, and to review the research and case studies. First, COVID is nothing invisible coronavirus, that is the group of that circulates among animals only, but this COVID-19, which has been spreading among humans also. The Wuhan province of China, which is the epicenter for this coronavirus, and it creates a havoc in the entire country. And these are some of the symptoms. And as of day before yesterday, the active cases are about 372,000 in India. How the coronavirus have been started in the world means how this havoc has created in the world. The timeline of this coronavirus on December 8th, the first patient developed the symptoms of Wuhan coronavirus in China. Later, the China alerts the World Health Organization on December 31st about this pneumonia. They did not have confirmed about coronavirus, the COVID-19, but they alert the WHO about several pneumonia cases have been taken place in China. Later, on January 7th, identification of the new virus, that is strain, that COVID-19, which is a substrain of, like we all know that is SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS. These are some of the strains. Like this, COVID-19 is another strain which responsible for spreading this disease between the humans also. And later, the first case outside China is reported in Thailand on January 13th, and later it has been increasing and spreading all over the world. Let's see how it has been outbreak in India. The first outbreak have taken place when students have been confirmed from Thrissur district of Kerala on January 30th, 2020. Later, on March 12th, the first death occurred in Yadgiri district of Karnataka. By day, the cases are increasing. On the day of 22nd March, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a Janata curfew, which is a self-lockdown period for 1 day. But still also the cases are going increasing. At that time, India is going to see a unprecedented time lockdown from its history. On 24th March, Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, announces a 21-day lockdown period. We will see a glimpse of how the lockdown have been affected India.
आज एक महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय करने जाना पूरे देश में आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है।
This is the glimpse of how coronavirus have been affected India. These are some of the phases which have been taken place during the lockdown condition. About 68 days of lockdown condition have been taken place from 25th March up to 31st May, where major sectors have been stopped, like freight operations or railway transport. Only essential commodities which are daily requirement for the peoples are only allowed. And later the unlock period of about 148 days have been started from June 1st up to the October 13 by decreasing the restrictions on various sectors, and also considered depends on the infections, the cities, and also considered into red zone, orange zone, and green zone. And let's see what is let's come to main topic, that is food security and how it has been affected, and how the farmers have alteration, how farmers done during the COVID-19. Food security means that all the people at all times having a physical, social, economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food, that their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and a healthier life. According to World Summit of 2009, the food security have been the 4 pillars under the food security are accessibility, availability, stability, and utilization. For example, this some of the alterations which have been taken place. This is one of our faculty members from Seed Science, that is Vishnath Koti. Their Punyakoti farms, they procure the nearby harvested capsicum from the greenhouse and also nearby farmers, and they farm they dehydrated them, and also they transferred to the many NGOs, and also they about 5 tons of capsicum have been means they donated for the NGOs and other industries, and means other needy people. And also some of the alterations, like in rural people, after due to the absence of marketing and other transportation facilities, the local farmers started marketing themselves only, and by avoiding middlemen, and also they know the real situation, how the marketing, and also some of the people, they get good income also during the lockdown condition, because they are not going outside for a marketing and other activities. What they obtained, what the product obtained from their farm, they are selling in their nearby villages only. These are some of the alterations. And also during the lockdown conditions, some alterations for food security, some of the many policy initiatives from the government of India and government of Karnataka have been taken place. And also that is like PDS, that is two public distribution system. The 2 months food grains will be given in 1 month only, and also increasing their food grains of about 5 kg of rice and wheat for a month of for 3 months for one person in a village, in a family. These are some of the alterations made under the food security. And when you see the economic security, this is nothing but the ability of an individual, household, or a community to cover their essential needs sustainably and with dignity. When you see some of the economic alterations, due to the farmers are means they are not able to go to the transportation for marketing also. At that time, they are always staying in the home, and it is one of the fact that their economic condition, where economic did not require much amount of money. And also when you see that during the corona time, many festivals and also functions, means before corona, they're investing lakhs of money together for them. But when we see during corona time, only few, due to the restrictions of the people, due to only 50, 100 people, that also increases their economic condition by some percent also. These are some of the economic alterations. And this, how the food security and economic security affected in the workforce. For workforce people who are having no less human activity, loss of wage earning, they are suffered with income, food and nutritional security. And when you come to the farmer point of view, mainly the income security due to the restriction for the transportation and marketing activities. And when we come to the processing, here also due to the absence of marketing, there is income security, which is economic security. And for transport, income security. And for market also income security, because due to major restriction on the transport and marketing, economic security have been affected. For consumers, both food and economic security. What are the major impacts of coronavirus on agriculture? That is crop harvesting. The coronavirus is coincided with the Rabi harvesting season of Punjab and Haryana for wheat. Therefore, due to the lack of labor shortage and also for many equipments due to the transportation activities, it is one of the major impact on coronavirus during only during the month from March to May. Later, everyone has been balanced and it is under buoyance. And supply chain disruption due to the absence of transportation and marketing. Major is supply chain disruption activity takes place, and labor shortage and food security of many unorganized sectors, like for daily wage people who mainly depends on the food for their food for work. The food security hamper them, and commodity arrivals and prices. This is the flow chart how the COVID-19 lockdown affected. That is the restricted labor movement that affects the less crop sown and harvesting of the crops in during Rabi season. And also due to the following of norms like social distancing, there is a fear of insecurity among the people to lose their jobs, and also does not have a income for their livelihood. And also reverse migration activity takes place for their native places, and that also lost to village economy, and lost to farmers because they does not have a proper market and price stabilization for their goods which have been produced by them. And also less crop production and supply chain disruption have been taken place during the lockdown condition, and loss for consumers also, because they have to stick on to, means during lockdown condition they can't able to get what they want with what price and in which store, and also with what quality. Therefore they have to compromise with what they get also. And they also responsible for food and nutritional insecurity also taken place. During you see that food security of India during the lockdown condition, the buffer stock is not only less. That is the availability of food grains in India has not been affected, but due to the restrictions on the transportation, therefore the buffer stock should not able to reach the needy people. Therefore, it has been affected. The food security is affected. That is for about 584.97 lakh million tons is the buffer stock which has been present during the lockdown condition, according to FSA, Food Corporation of India. Majorly the vegetables, the perishables, egg, meat, milk, and sugar that constitutes about 78% of the consumption was impacted negatively. let's see some of the means how the corona impacted by individually with farming and allied activities. When we come to food grains, that is wheat, due to increase in the procurement after the lockdown means after the harvesting condition, due to because government is the only major buyer of the wheat at the time of lockdown. Therefore, due to the carrying stocks, that is due to the only government is the only buyer, it creates a negative trading interest among the country. And also they increased it to 4.61% of MSP during the month during 2020, that is a 1,975 per quintal. And in maize 80% of the maize industry mainly used in animal feed industry. Due to reducing the demand of the animal feed industry and poultry feed industry, maize they reduce. And also that is the fall army worm, which is one of the pre-COVID impact only. But due to the COVID, there is no absence of suitable pest management practices can't able to taken place by farmers. Therefore, it also increases the increases the effect of COVID on increases the effect of fall army-1 on maize. And when you see the oil seeds, that is soybean also another important factor in the poultry and animal feed industry. Therefore, due to the less demand and also lack of transportation, everything that also affected the soybean. And also, when you see some of the commercial crops for sugarcane, there is due to lack of transport and labor shortage for harvesting, because sugarcane requires maximum number of labors. And also due to delay in payment of sugar mills in resulting the farmers selling sugar produced to local traders at a very low price. And when you see jute, they show a reverse, because due to the lockdown condition, there is more, the people require more of packaging materials. Therefore, jute industry see some of the demand, but due to the labor shortage, it can't able to reach that demand. When you see the cotton accounts for also 29% of Indian textile trade. Due to lockdown condition, it also the cotton textile mills are operating at half of their prices capacity. When we see the horticulture, it is one of the important sector which have been affected during the lockdown because of the perishability of the horticulture, vegetables and flower nature. When we see fruits and vegetables, about 50,000 crore of loss, 50,000 crore have been loss occurred for due to the horticulture sector, due to the shutdown of HoReCa sectors like hotels, restaurants and cafes. Due to shutdown of these things, there will be a huge loss for the horticulture sector for perishables, and reduced demand for exotic vegetables. That is, mango growers across the country expected a loss of about 6,000 crores due to the lockdown impositions, and dumping of fresh produce due to lack of cold storage facilities also. When we see, these are one of the data how mandi arrivals during the lockdown from March 25th to May 4th. See, all have a negative percentage. That is, the green leafy vegetables and spinach have a maximum of more than 90%. And when you see the fruits, due to mango having a high export quality from India, it is also due to the lockdown condition. It 64% of there is negative 64.3% have been impacted. When you see floriculture, India stands second in the floriculture production, and also when we see Indian floriculture have great demand in export, means it has flower export business. Due to the lockdown condition, it has shrinks about for 50% of about 550 crore business of export have been shrunk due to the lockdown condition. Some of the pictures how due to lack of marketing, and also they are. This is market arrivals during 1st March to 10th April during the lockdown condition according to AgMarkNet. That is that is wheat drastic reduce of about minus 59% changes, potato 44, that is Bengal gram minus 78%. These are some of the mandi arrivals due to the lack of transportation activities. This is one of the important sector which has affected the unorganized sector, where COVID affected the unorganized sector, because they are the daily wage workers who depend mainly on their activities. That is about 100 million people that is about out of 450 million people of 20% workforce, they are migrant workers, out of which 20% are from agriculture only. Therefore, the COVID impacted huge on migrant workers. These are some of the unemployment ratio, that is drastic of March to April, it is increasing unemployment from 8% to 23%. But we can see here, after the reverse migration process, here the rural employment has been increased. This is another sector who it's responsible for contribution of about 4.4% of the GDP towards Indian economy, and it is India stands first in India's contribution for world milk production is about 22%, and exported 51,421 metric tons of dairy products. What are the challenges which are faced during the COVID and in dairy sector? That is due to transportation of operational challenges like transportation of material, procuring milk and worker shortage, and also cattle feed is hard to procure due to transportation, and also prices have shoot up by 40%. And this and due to the artificial insemination has stopped because the transportation, due to absence of transportation, there is a the farmers have to inseminate cattle with low quality bull, and it leads to further the result in low quality offspring next year. This also impacted their yield quality in the milk in future years. And when we see the poultry sectors, poultry, due to the rumors spread during the COVID condition, the COVID has been spreading due to consumption of meat and poultry products. Due to rumors of regarding of spread of virus by consumption of meat and poultry started leading to sales decline. There is a projected of about 27,000 crore rupees have been declined during the in the poultry during the COVID condition. And also some of the photographs where farmers bury 6,000 chickens alive in, there are many cases like this. And fishery sector also impacted much, does not impacted much, but it also impacted somewhat percent due to the transportation and marketing facilities. That is due to the shutdown of Horeca sectors, hotels, the fish sector has been impacted. When we see micro irrigation, that is about shrink by 50% due to PM, that is the PMKSY action plan, the reduce of 50%, and also more than 40% in, that is reduce more than 40% in this current Kharif season, micro irrigation. And seed industry, it also reduced about 50 to 20%, and replacement seed of maize and cotton is reduced about 30% during the lockdown condition. That is 20% in cotton, 30 in vegetables, and also 15% in maize. How the COVID have been affected agrochemical sector. Agrochemical sector means mainly it responds labors and also marketing and also transportation. Due to the lockdown implications, it also responsible that it goes minus 14% in the production and also minus 7.5% in the profit in the agrochemical sectors also. Up to this, we have all seen that what are the impacts and also negative side of the COVID only. COVID does not only give the negative side, it also have a positive impacts or some of the changes during the agriculture sector. Due to the reverse migration process in the current Kharif season of 2020, there is an increasing of 13% of cropping area. And also the procurement of pulses is also higher than last year, benefiting of 8.7 lakh farmers. And due to the increasing MSP of wheat and also till June, that is about due to the, it is like due to the government is the only buyer of the wheat, and also due to increase in MSP. Therefore, there is increase in the buffer stock, that is about 33.9 million ton have been procured by the government compared to that of 37 before means last year. Some of the wheat procurement higher than last year, that is 33%, and during COVID, that is after the COVID slowly slow down the restrictions, 37%. And these are some of the photographs how after the reverse migration places, the means the people went to village and started agriculture. How extension activities, and this is one of the important sector, how the extension activities in COVID-19, like there are KVKs, ICR institutes, SCUs, NGO, FPOs. These are one of the principal organizations which are responsible for creating awareness among the people, and also to maintain the social, means they are to create awareness about the social norms of COVID also, means to avoid the infection also. And therefore they have to give actively engage in providing crop specific, location specific, and agro advisory services for the farmers. And also like ICR has published an ebook light upon innovative like KVK to provide useful advisory services to the farmers and information and communication technology effectively to reach the farmers. During COVID, there are many training programs, webinars have been conducted for farmers to create awareness about the COVID, and also what are the activities which has to be taken place for other agriculture and allied activities for how the marketing. For example, Agri War Room has been started by our USP and KSDA, how it has been taken place, how it works like between like a mediator between the producer and the consumer. Like this, these are some of the extension activities which have been carried out, and collaboration of KVKs and FPOs for helping farmers for efficient supply chain, because value supply chain, which is one of the important sector which have been affected due to the lockdown condition. And that is KVKs can inspire self-help groups to help common people creating job among themselves within their locality to restrict the movement from their native to the urban cities. This is that is green card initiative started by the green, which is proposed to give to the farmers, which should include the chip based which contains all the details of that farmers, like ATM card, this is one green card initiative. That card helps us to movement from one place to another place for transportation, because agriculture is considered under essential commodities due to lockdown restriction. When we have this green card, means green card with that fellow who is taking that produce, due to the by showing that green card, they are allowing that person to further movement. This is agri war room. About 500 tons of about vegetables and flowers have been taken. Means they are carried out by. They have a contact number. If the farmer is contacted with that of 1800-425-0571, proper guidance will be given for that farmers, and where they have to go and dump, means they have to give their products by contacting with suitable apartments and required people. This is some international exports of agriculture commodities due to lockdown restrictions. All the commodities except rice, because rice previously it has been procured before lockdown only. Therefore, and all other fruits and vegetables, spices, every sector have been showing a negative, means export due to the freight restriction. In some of the what are the policy initiatives by Government of India and Government of Karnataka for the lockdown condition? That is PM Kisan, which is a previous scheme only, means it is already started 2-3 years before, but the PM Kisan is given in a 3 installments with a 4 months gap from December to February, and from December to March, from April to April, May, June, July, like that. After the sudden imposition of the lockdown, immediately there is a sanction of PM Kisan, that is 2,000 for the farmers direct benefit transfer, about 70,986 crore from the Government of India. And the Fasal Bima Yojana has been made voluntary for all the farmers consecutively, and they're increasing the 90% of premium subsidy liability for northeastern states in place of 50. Every year they are paying 50% subsidy, but during lockdown conditions they have increased up to 90%. And the RBI granted a moratorium of 3 months for agriculture term and crop loans for a period of 3 months, with a 3% concession on the interest rate of crop loan up to 3 lakh rupees. We're having a good repayment record only. And what are the support for agriculture? That is due to increasing MSPs, that is about 74,300 crore rupees have been released into the market, means to the people, and the payment of 6,400 crore released under the PM Fasal Bima Yojana. When you see the support of animal husbandry, that is 4,100 crore, that is addition 111 crore liter milk procured with payment of 4,100 crore, and animal husbandry infrastructure development fund also allocated about 15,000 crore. And what are the support to the fisheries? That is sanitary import permits, which are mainly required for the importing other coastal products, and also for exporting. There is a license like agreement which has to be required for the import and export. That is also validity has been extended. And also under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, about 20,000 crore have been allocated for farmers to support integrated, sustainable and inclusive development of marine and inland fisheries. For Operation Green Topic, that is tomato, onion and potato, about 500 crore unmarked for supply chain, which is perishable product, and which has been majorly distracted due to the transportation and lockdown condition. And 50% subsidy to be given on storage, including cold storages. And essential commodity tax and other agriculture marketing reform have been taken place during. And this is the economic stimulus package, that is 20 lakh crore. Out of that, that is about 25% have been divided to the MSCME sector, and about 7.1% towards the agriculture and allied activities, out of which 4,000 for herbal cultivation in India, 20,000 crore for fishermen through Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, 500 crore scheme for infrastructure development related to beekeeping. This like this, the package, economic stimulus package, have been divided into various sectors based on their requirements. Some of the case studies which have been conducted, when we see the infodemic during the corona time, for every 20 days, the research articles have been doubled from March to May, and about more than lakhs and crores together of the searches in the Google and other. This is one of the case study, that is food system disruption, initial livelihood and dietary effects of COVID-19 on vegetable producers India, where 4 states have been selected by Harris and co-workers in 2020 of June. Here, the overall effect of COVID-19 on vegetable harvesting under their major scheme, out of the 4 states in Karnataka, that is RKVY project, and also another one project have been taken place, and under which many vegetable growers have been taken place through the telephone. The data have been collected out of 448 members. in Karnataka, 56 respondents, out of which vegetable production disrupted 100, and also 100 people, and also 100% unable to sell their parts of vegetable harvested also. And because these 4 states have been selected, mainly because particular schemes have been selected for their development in particular states, like under RKVY funded for agriculture and horticulture in Karnataka, like that various schemes under Andhra Pradesh, Assam and Jharkhand also. And this is on another the same research study, like farmers reported some declines in sales during that lockdown condition. About 80% responded, and farmers reported devastating declines, sold nothing, almost nothing, 20%. Prices reductions reported by farmers, about 80%. Price reductions by more than half reported by farmers, about 50%. And drop in farm income, respondents about 90% say yes, and drop in farm income by more than half, like 60%. This is another one research study, that is impact of COVID-19 on agriculture and allied sector, conducted by Singh and co-workers. This is a huge study conducted in all the KVKs of 11 Ataris. That is about 1,748 respondents have been taken place through Google format. That is through Google format, all the principal means project in charge, and also all the KVK head and also subject matter specialists have been taken under this under for the sponsors. And they have 3 dimensions, that is for livestock sectors, and also agriculture and allied activities, and also for horticulture. Under livestock, that is the farmers facing major problem in selling of milk, that is about 60% quoted yes, and also interrupted supply for feed and concentrate, about 72% during the lockdown condition. And also appropriate advisory provided by KVK expert through different social media are effective, that is about 98% have been quoted yes. And during the in the agricultural and land enterprises, that is the daily that is the landless wage workers, which are the major impact of this COVID-19, most due to the coronavirus is infections, about 88%. And they feel that despite of work, some workers want to stay home and waiting for government welfare scheme, about 68%. Migratory workers will start his or her own enterprise in their according to their skill or enterprise, about 65% have been quoted yes. And when we see the horticulture sector, that is that harvesting major fruit crops have been affected in the district, about 65%. And sale and transportation of ornamental flowers and seeding, about 90%, because the transportation have been hampered during the lockdown condition. And at last, I would like to conclude that 1/3 of the farmers stored the produce due to the lockdown. Among all the commodities, sales and harvesting of vegetables were majorly impacted due to the lockdown and lockdown restrictions. About 53% farmers reported increased harvesting cost because of their COVID-19. And retail and wholesale prices majorly changed in case of tomato, potato, and wood. Overall, on a sector level, manufacturing sector reported maximum, and agriculture sector reported a minimum job loss. And when we see the economy, that is all the sectors have reported the negative growth. That is agriculture is the only which has somewhat means increase the positive towards the GDP. And across supply chain, major issues were labor availability, transportation, document procedures, raw material supply, laboratory verification, and foreign governments approvals. And majority of the farmers and household reported a decent supply of food and did not face any difficulty. And in case of poultry, eggs reported a decline consumption, mainly because of the rumors and broken supply chain. I would like to conclude that these are some of the activities or some unprecedented things which have been seen by country and many countries. Therefore, the government should be pre-planned on. So they should be ready for this like of activities. But the impact of COVID-19 on agriculture sector is unprecedented challenge for an Indian situation. Therefore, it does not respond should be just by beginning. India must be prepared to scale it up by events unfolding, easing the economic impacts through even greater public programming and also by public-private partnership, all activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat. So now I invite the queries from the students. First, I invite the PU students.
Ma'am. And Narendra Singh Tomar on November 17th, Kisan Rath app. Kisan Rath app, where 5.5 vehicles have been registered under that app. I don't know.
That is still in operation.
Yes, sir. Kisan Rath. Yes, sir.
It's closed.
But the users are less, sir. Means now, like Agrivar room also. Agrivar is in still operation, sir. But the phone calls before, during Corona data, there was about 100, 200 calls. But now it has been reduced. They only call the Agrivar room for their technical informations. Yesterday we confirmed it.
This population means compared to other sectors, industrial and private sector, agriculture sector in the population, contributing less to GDP.
Yes, sir.
We having more technology, like in agriculture, more technology, like the university, excel institutes, other NGOs, private institutes. Then why the farmers, why it is less?
Sir, it is a one of.
Two sectors.
Sir, one thing is in agriculture means the income is after the 3 months only, means after the crop harvested of 6 months. They're expecting income, they are getting returns only after 3 months and 6 months. Therefore, another one means they now the youth are not interested for agriculture, towards agriculture also. And there are many programs and practices which have been developed by all the topmost research in the country. But the ground level work, how the implementation have been taken place, it has to be increased, sir. Therefore, the agriculture is a little bit less. Yeah, youth is a 60% population. When
It is less. You are telling me
no,
for that youth is less.
compared to
Two sectors, means other sectors.
youth are less in agriculture sector.
Hence, the GDP is going less.
Reverse migration. Villages are capable to handle complete all the
Yes, sir. At first,
by reducing mechanization. By reducing mechanization, we can accommodate the reverse migration.
yes, sir, somewhat. But after the reverse migration, that means mechanization, which it increases the production of, sir. That is mechanization. But during after reverse migration, we can't, means sir, we can't be able to reduce that mechanization. They have to prepare.
Mechanization activities are also hampered. So in that it has become a risky also to some extent. Because the movement of mechanized vehicles, operators, all those things also hampered. It's not as a 100% flow as it was earlier. So when the laborers forcibly they have come to the villages, in the absence of machineries, these laborers were used. And in some of the FPOs similar we discussed in that it was suggested one of the activity we can take up with the available laborers in this lot of construction of some activities. Or labor-oriented activities you can take up a HESNEP. That was suggested in the FPO.
We are not leading producer of tea. First, we are second. First is China.
Can we expect changing food consumption patterns or changing household expenditure for farmers after COVID? Can we expect future?
Yes, I can expect.
That needs to be studied. Definitely there will be some variations. Some of the new items will have been introduced, some of the existing will have been discontinued. That is to be studied.
Which are the major challenges faced in the agri-value chain system during COVID-19?
So agri-value chain, which is one of the important sector which have been hampered during lockdown. In that is exports and labor shortage. These are the major two sectors which have been hampered due to the unorganized sector. About 20% of the migrant workers are from agriculture. Due to their reverse migration and all their activities, their insecurity, and due to the restriction on the freight and other activities, there is a due to stop of export activities. These are the major two value chain challenges which have been faced.
Migrant workers in agriculture. They are
No, sir, not commercial crop industry. They will come from other places and they will take the lease and they will do agriculture. Others means they, sir? No, 20% is not leasing. Out of 20%, there is some.
And I thought that sugarcane industries,
What?
and,
Yes, sir. For sugarcane harvesting, there are a huge number of laborers are required now, sir. Harvesting,
processing.
harvesting for sugarcane harvesting only, maximum numbers of laborers are required. Therefore, they come by batch from other parts of the country for.
It's open for the teachers.
Sir. Increase in the cropping area, sir. 13% increase in crop.
I think they are the person, those who are living today, they are, I think they are the person, they are happiest. Without worrying,
Madhugiri, sir. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
I think crop production is also not affected. When I visited my project village near Panadi, they are expecting 12 to 15 quintal per acre in rice. Our recommendation is 8 to 10. Problem is only with marketing. Even during that period also. They have produced. But lack of infrastructure facilities, networking, they are unable to get right. These are major problems. For that, what is required?
Sir, for that, like we direct marketing facilities for farmers, and the farmers, the awareness should be given about the marketing strategies for farmers in the village level only. How and the sir, not farmers, sir, means like and that I showed now, sir, that Punyakwati farms, that where the nearby villages they procure that and they did the direct marketing, sir. Like that awareness also.
ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಮುಗೀತು. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನೀನು ಮುಗಿತಾ ಬಂತು ಸರ್.
Groundnut increase, sir, but no exact. No, sir. Due to the proper. No, sir. 6 quintal ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 6 to 7. 6 to 7. ಬಂತು ಸರ್.
Only the problem is after market or make post production. Then migration area, migrated to village.
They are starting farming, sir. Farming start sheep. After,
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಇರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ only for factory. Effect reverse migration or temporary ನಮ್ಮ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಕೆಲವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ maybe 2% they started with agriculture. Exactly, they return back. There is a situation. And this is the country that has gained positive. Positive aspects in all industries, it's has gained.
China.
You know,
No, sir.
China.
China loss, sir.
China was gained in all sectors. Gained in all sectors. Even industry also. How I will 3% growth in area of it. Even in fact, who are working in IT, they gain more.
From home.
Work from home. They have more time, energy, they spend more time with family members. They want COVID have work ready now.
So you
Even after companies, they prefer this. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಖರ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಟೀನು ಪಿಕಪ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಬಟ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಯಾರು those who are involved in providing vehicle that unorganized ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರು ದೇವರಾಟ.
To supplement that point, only the companies have got benefited, sir, but many of the facilities, their active working hours have been increased. So every time they go from 11 to 6 or 8 they are working, but now they are working from 10 onwards till 11 they are working, new people.
But
Unlike earlier years, we used to do huge promotion or things. So those things, by in the name of COVID, they have siphoned. That was not extended to the employees. So companies want, and you can see the price also. Most of the IT companies have increased and quickly report from the report. And many of the employees now insisting to go to the offline. They want to attend the office now. What is happening?
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್.
Online examination, that will be Zoom. No, sir, from Zoom they have now shifted to forum also. Okay, Bharath, one more question from my side. So, what is the changes happening in fisheries sector? Because
Sir, in fishery, the market is reduced and also increasing 40%. And all, when come to shrimp, sir, shrimp. Due to, at that time before lockdown, the import of shrimp have been hampered. Means at that time, and also after the breeding process happened in India, there is a increasing demand for shrimp, about 25%. Therefore, due to freight activities, there is a decrease in 40 and increasing 25. Majorly shrimp of the employed.
What about the other sectors like export-oriented agriculture production?
Yes, sir.
Because
Export.
all the many of things, including flights, have been closed.
Yes.
Flights used for flight. So maybe after that they lifted that sanction, so they permitted the cargo flights. Now, what an extent the floriculture industry, especially.
Yeah, floriculture industry during the time of 3 months, sir. It has been hampered about 50%. About 550 crore is the amount every year export quality of floriculture. During the month of from March to May, it has a 250 crore have been lost due to the export of floriculture.
Any queries?
Regarding the labor problem, you said some of the Kisan Rathi. Okay. In the same way, to solve the labor problem, many initiatives are taken by the government of India.
So Kisan Rathi is
Kisan Rathi is for the transportation.
yes, sir.
You say the labor problem.
Labor problem. No, sir. They only give the package stimulus, sir. Only in economy. That's all. No such initiatives like app other activities. Means they provided about 1,70,000 crore have been for the poor under the PM Garib Rath Yojana.
There are so many packages were announced by the government of India. That packages were reached by the to the farmer company.
That has to be studied, sir. That
Yes, sir. No.
like
How much it is reached? How much percentage? If not, what are the problem?
I think it is if of under package program, if direct benefit transfer is included, means it is reached to farmers, sir, under like PM Kisan.
That is only one that is
One-
continuing, that is reached.
That is reached, but other programs.
In the COVID time, there are so many packages were announced.
Yes.
They reached to the farming community.
No information, sir.
And what is the problem?
So means the farmers, means the ground who are the beneficiaries did not know about the which are the packages and
Why
that
need to announce the package?
Okay, thank you, Bharath. We'll move on to the next seminar on Anthology of Agricultural Labor Crisis by Meghajith. Yes, sir. So it was not discussed in the that previous one, sir.
Okay, then I'm still. It's again. Student sir, out of check.
A very warm welcome to everyone present here, their faculties, seniors and juniors, as well as my colleagues. I'm here today to present my third doctoral credit seminar, which is entitled as an Anthology on Agricultural Labor Crisis, wherein I'll be speaking about how we can counter agricultural labor crisis in terms of sorties, as well as in terms of like how we can ensure the welfare of the agricultural laborers. So before I move into the actual presentation, I would like to open my today's seminar by quoting a quote from President Dwight, where he says like, farming might look, yes, sir? Yes, sir. So is it fine? So according to him, he stated that farming might look mighty easy when you plow, when your plow is a pencil and when you're 1,000 miles away from the field. So this is very much reminiscent of like that we should not forget about the agricultural laborers, their hardship, and it is not an easy task to get themselves involved in the agricultural fields. So with this, like I would like to show how we have come come to this whole narrative of the presentation, we know that like agriculture is the backbone of our Indian's economy. Not only that, it is also a pivotal component in achieving various goals such as attaining food security, GDP growth, as well as enhancing the rural economy. Moreover, as we know, like because of the economy is maturing and that our country is developing, the workforce from agricultural sector is out migrating to other higher productive sectors such as the services as well as the industrial sector. And this have been further validated by a comparative analysis between two time period, that is between 2004-5 to 2011-12, wherein we can see that about 30.57 million people workforce were reduced in the agricultural workforce. As well as when we take into consideration the percentages, there was a decline from 56.7% to 48.8% in the same period. So this gives us a question, this arises questions like, with the decline in the workforce, how do we sustain agricultural productivity? Because mostly our agricultural sector and rural sector is labor intensive. How do we sustain, as well as how do we ensure that we retain this workforce in the sector itself? So with this notion, I have come up with the objectives such as to elucidate the concept of agricultural labor, to analyze the recent trends of agricultural labor and its implications, to enlist the various interventions for mitigating the problems of agricultural labor crisis, also to present related agricultural labor research reviews. So in concept of agricultural labor, what I will be covering is the types and the categories of farmers, of laborers, as well as the characteristics of agricultural laborers. So according to the National Commission on Labor, an agricultural laborer have been defined as a person who is basically unskilled, unorganized, and has little for its livelihood other than personal labor. So this leads us to the characteristics of labor. As rightly defined by the Labor Commission, the agricultural laborers are widely scattered, unorganized, unskilled, and they lack training, as well as they have low social status, as well as they have less bargaining power. You know, in India, there are like about 6.6 lakh villages, and in some of the villages, like more than in half of the villages, only like around 500, less than 500 agricultural laborers are present, which sort of validates like why they are considered as widely scattered. Moreover, because of this widely scattered nature, it is very difficult for us to organize them into groups as well as create cooperatives for them. Mostly because these agricultural laborers, they only come together during the time of harvest where there is equal opportunities for employment, but there is very less contact between the workers themselves during the off seasons. Moreover, the agricultural laborers are also like highly unskilled and lacks training because most of the time they are from small villages and they are generally found to be carrying out unskilled work with regards to agricultural operations at a very low wages. Low social status. We know these agricultural laborers, most of them are landless and they come from smaller villages and they belong to depressed classes. Most of them even out-migrates to other places in search for agricultural labor jobs, such as during the time of harvesting, which creates further dislocation of family life, dislocation of education of children. This ultimately leads them to a chain of being in a lower social status. Moreover, they are illiterate and ignorant in nature, and they lack awareness about the various price schemes and the various incentives and benefits they can get from various schemes, which leads them to having a lower bargaining power. Moving on, the type of agricultural labor. We can classify the agricultural labors in two types. That is, the first one is landless agricultural labor. The second is small and marginal landowners. In case of the landless agricultural labor, we can classify them into hired labor as well as bonded labor. In terms of hired labor, we can further classify it into casual labor and attached labor, wherein attached laborers are those with continuous employment, regardless of the tasks. They are employed throughout the season. In case of casual labor, they are daily wage workers, wherein they are hired only for a specific operation, which lasts for a short period of time. And in case of bonded laborers, this is an obsolete concept, but still it was very paramount in the whole labor sector. They belong to the bottom agricultural labor, and these are basically the people who have pledged themselves to work for a family because of some financial assistance they have received. And in terms of small and marginal landowners, they have land ownings, but their land ownings are small that economic production from their land is not able to sustain them. So they involve themselves in labor activities in order to meet up their economic needs. So under this, there are again three categories. There are cultivators, sharecroppers, and leaseholders. So cultivators are those who possess land but also involved in other agricultural labor activities. Sharecroppers are those croppers which shares their produces as well as works as laborer. And in case of leaseholders, they are tenants who works on their leased land but also works as laborers. Now that we have known the type, the characteristics of agricultural labor, now it's time to understand and comprehend what is the actual trend that's been going on in the labor sector, agricultural labor sector. So through this trend analysis, we'll be able to find out the implications, the decline, and the reasons for declining, if ever there is a decline. So first, let's have a look at the overall workforce across different sectors. We can see that there is a decline in the agricultural sector, whereas there is an increase in the industry and services. This is mostly because people are looking for more higher economic opportunities, which is why they are shifting to more productive sectors such as industry and services. Furthermore, if we disaggregate the data into male workforce, we can also see that there is a rapid decline in the male workforce in the agricultural sector. Mostly, this can be reasoned because male in the household, they out-migrate to other cosmopolite places and cosmopolite in other sectors, looking for economic opportunities in order to sustain their economic needs, which is why there is an increase in the industrial and services sector, but there is a decline in the agricultural sector. But in case of female, even though there was a decline, their decline is less as compared to male workers because female are now taking up the roles of the male household workers in terms of agricultural labor in the agricultural sector, because since the male head of the family are out-migrated into the other sectors, they have to fit into the roles and take up the roles of in the agricultural activities, which is why there was a decline, but the decline is lesser and as well as in terms of industrial and services. Even though there was an increment, it was not much as evidential as compared to male. Now, when we further disaggregate the data into by sexes and by the work, we can see that there is a decline in the cultivator, but increase in the agricultural labor. This may be validated by reasons such that the agricultural land, as we know, is highly fragmented, and because of the in-depthness of most of the small and marginal landholders, they often sell off their land in order to seek out higher economic activities in cities and towns. And this may be the reason why the cultivator is decreasing, but there is an increase in the agricultural labor, which is most evident in terms of the female agricultural laborers. Furthermore, if we group these agricultural laborers by social group, we can see that in terms of Dalit, they comprise of 71% of the agricultural laborers, where only 29% of the Dalit population is agricultural cultivators. While in case of tribal population, 47.3 is landless agricultural laborers, while 52.7% is comprises of cultivator. This shows that lower status of the agricultural laborers, meaning that they do not have land owning of their own, and they solely depend on agricultural work and employment for sustenance. Again, moving on, weights is an important factor in why the agricultural laborers are out migrating to other sectors. So if we compare we can see that there is a clear distinct differentials. That is like the most highly skilled agricultural labor would be able to get up to 535 rupees, while highly skilled industrial laborers would get at least up to 845 rupees across the different categories of cities. The another thing that we can infer from this is like the agricultural sector labor, where the unskilled laborers are getting only up to 407 rupees. But if we upskill them, they will get better opportunities of getting higher economic benefits and economic returns. That is like they will be able to get wage rates up to at least 535 rupees. So what can be inferred? So from the trend, we can infer that there is an indication of feminization in agriculture. Also, there is a need for upskilling the unskilled because as per the wage differentials, there was a differential between the unskilled laborers as well as the skilled laborers, which is why we need to push for skill training and updating their skills, as well as there was a decline in cultivator owing to the fact that the agricultural lands are highly fragmented and there is an increase of population, as well as because of out-migration, people are selling off their land and then their roles as cultivators are reducing, as well as there was an overall decline in the workforce, especially in agriculture. So what may be the reasons for decline? The first may be higher wage. They are seeking for high wages in other jobs available locally or either in the cosmopolitan places. They are also shifting to regular or permanent jobs since agricultural jobs are seasonal. The agricultural laborers is also maybe presumed as low esteemed jobs. This is because of this, they are shifting to other economic activities, while as like migrating to other nearby cities for higher wages, or else like migrating due to improvement in educational status. So like from the trend analysis, we can see that like there may be like mostly three major implications of agricultural labor crisis. That is, the first one is feminization of agriculture. Then second one is jobless growth. And the last one is productivity of agricultural producers. So how do we say that feminization of agriculture is implicating on the agricultural sector? First, we need to recall that like most of our schemes and projects are not woman friendly. And then like we know that like women have lesser access to services, they lack ownership to land, which hinders them in taking up various benefits from schemes and programs. Also, women lacks access to services in institutional context, which may lead to inefficiency in their productive activities in the agriculture. Furthermore, women are overbounded by dual responsibilities in their household as well as in the productive roles, which is why feminization of agriculture have often been criticized as it may have negative implications on the agricultural production. Second is jobless growth. See, since the outmigrated laborers are unskilled in nature, they may have problems in finding job opportunities in the other sectors. Mostly they are unemployable because they lack skill, which may contribute into jobless economic growth, which will turn into demographic disaster. And by demographic disaster, we mean that India have this segment of demography, which the majority of them falls in the working group. And because of this, if we do not give skills to them, if we do not make our working age group employable, then it will lead to economic failure, and then it will ultimately lead to demographic disaster because we fail to use the economic opportunities that we can derive from this demographic group. Moreover, I would like to validate the effects of labor in terms of productivity by presenting a research paper which was conducted in Haryana and Punjab, wherein they have selected labor-intensive crops like paddy, sugarcane as well, where there was a significant change, a significant difference in the productivity level as compared between the labor scarcity unaffected area with the labor scarcity unaffected area. And the major differences were found in crops such as paddy and in cotton. This also validates why we need to make sure that even though there is labor scarcity, we need to ensure productivity, because from this we can validate that labor does impact on the productivity of the crops. Now, interventions to mitigate labor crisis. We have seen that labor crisis is indeed occurring. It's, even though it may not be as prominent as it is in the future. So we need to ensure that there is proper interventions to mitigate, just in case the worst happens. So like interventions can be done in a two-pronged approach. The first one is how to retain the farmers, and the second to ensure productivity. In case of retaining workforce, we need to ensure the welfare of the agricultural laborers, either in terms of updating their skills as well as giving you social security. While in terms of ensuring productivity, we'll be covering about the various agricultural interventions. So the first one is in terms of retaining the agricultural workforce is the labor legislative measures. These are some of the most prominent and profound monumentous acts that's been passed in favor of the agricultural laborers as well as the laborers in the unorganized sectors. The first one is Minimum Wage Act. The second is the Plantation Labor Act, as well as the abolition of the Jamandar system. So the first two acts, they ensure like minimum labor wages to the unorganized sector, as well as provision of living living areas, housings, as well as other essential benefits for the laborers. Also, a jamindari system, like it's similar to bonded laborers, wherein in 1975 the concept of bonded labor was abolished, and under this abolished act, every bonded laborer is free and discharged from any obligations from rendered bonded laborers. Moreover, like providing land to landless labor, government have made efforts in order to provide land to landless laborers. They have also made efforts to transfer the fallow and wastelands to the agricultural landless laborers. Most of these efforts have been targeted to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the allotment of government land and surplus land. But the main criticism in this provision is that, especially in scheduled caste and scheduled tribe areas, the tribals have their own customary land laws, and because of this, there are often at times inflicts and conflicts between the government land reforms as well as the tribal land reforms. Also, various welfare measures have been given to agricultural laborers by government through various schemes, such as provisions such as housing sites to homeless, primary education for rural poor, rural health services, supply of safe drinking water, as well as organizing rural workers. Also, further, like special agencies were developed, such as agencies such as Small Farmers Development Agency, Marginal Farmers and Agricultural Labor Development Agencies were created in 1970s, 1971. These agencies like mostly dealt with like how to provide employment for the laborers, as well as like in there's skill trainings. And one of the most important interventions were the 20-point program, wherein they try to ensure speedy implementation of ceiling legislation, distribution of surplus land, as well as provision of housing sites, abolition of bonded laborers, as well as like the most important being the liquidation of indebtedness and moratorium recovery for debts. These are some of the anti-poverty and employment schemes. The first being Johar Rozgar Yojana, Rural Housing, Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana, Manrega, National Rural Livelihood Mission, as well as the Pradhan Mantri Kusal Vikas Yojana. And the last two schemes, that is the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, as well as the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, we have been implemented recently with the onset of COVID, because there was an influx of migrant laborers back to their natives, and these schemes help like ensure the provision of the migrant laborers to establish their livelihood in the villages. So in terms of Garib Kalyan Yojana, they give training and they try to accommodate the migrated laborers back to their villages. While in case of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, they ensure like food security of those laborers who came back to the villages. But despite all these interventions, what is still lacking? Most of the schemes and the implementations still remain strong in the papers, but not so in the ground reality. Because first of all, the problem is the agricultural laborers are widely scattered and they cannot, there is a lot of difficulty in organizing them into groups, so that the transfer of an awareness as well as the technologies, whatever interventions is difficult. So the outreach is difficult. Maybe because of this, implementation have been lagging, as well as agricultural labor lacks awareness to the benefits, to access the benefits they can access, which shows that we need to improve their awareness, as well as many schemes still remain in papers and unacted. For instance, the Agricultural Labor and the Maternity Benefit Act, as well as the Employee Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provision Act in those they still remain in paper, but they were not functional. Moreover, social protection of labor, agricultural labor have not been mentioned in most of the provisions. Even though provisions have been made for unorganized sector, we need to know that agriculture is one of the unorganized sector, but the level of hazard, the level of work and the level of labor these agricultural laborers put into is much more than the other parts of the agriculture unorganized sector, which is why we need to demand for us exclusive social protection programs for agricultural laborers. Also, there was an exclusion of agricultural labor in social interventions such as PM Kisan Mandhan Yojana, wherein the beneficiaries were only landholders. What about the agricultural laborers who are landless? They also need some sort of financial assistance later on in their life when they are not able to participate in the agricultural activities. Also, there was a non-addressal of agricultural labor in farm bills, as well as minimal mentions in the new Code of Labor, wherein, especially in terms of the Code of Social Security, whereas agricultural workers were not well defined, as well as the policies and interventions were not well defined for agricultural workers. Also, the main leg is the failure for us to organize the agricultural laborers into organization. Even though they are organized, they dissolve very soon once the harvesting season is over. So the agricultural labor organization most of the times are informal and temporary in nature. So what can be done? So these are the set of things that we can do for the upliftment and for retaining the workforce. First is encourage rural industrial startups, formation of formal labor cooperatives, diversification of labor from agriculture to non-farm sectors to ensure employment in the off-farm seasons. Also skill empowerment, standardization of minimum wage rates, as well as inclusion of landless laborers in social interventions. So as extension agents, what can we do for these agricultural laborers? So the first and foremost thing is they are unskilled. So it is our duty to train them and to help them update their skill. So timely training of agricultural labor to skill the unskilled is important. Promotion of value chain activity, value addition activities, mostly because the thing is, we talk about mechanization, but mechanization replaces labor. So in order to attract and absorb the excess surplus labor, we need to promote value chain activities in order to absorb these laborers into the value addition activities, as well as attracting attracting youths to this sector. We can attract this youth into the agricultural sector by instilling in them the thoughts of agriculture as an enterprise, as a business model, rather than something which is done for subsistence. Also, we can facilitate agricultural labor group formation. Awareness can be created for them to ensure employment in off-farm seasons, as well as strengthening agricultural extension services with special reference to female farmers, because we have known, feminization of agriculture may implicate problems on the agricultural sector. So interventions to ensure productivity. Some of the interventions that we can adopt in order to ensure productivity is, first is mechanization, second is promotion of labor reducing technologies, as well as shift towards alternate less crop. So in terms of promotion of use of labor reducing technology, one of the instances is direct seeded rice, which does not need for transplantation, and it reduces the labor intensity in the crop, as well as in the output factors, which is after the production, what we can do to ensure productivity is to strengthen the linkages between the various business models, contract farming, as well as corporates and market linkages. Now that we have understood the various interventions, the trends in labor, I would like to present some of the agricultural labor-related studies. First one is the declining labor use in agriculture, a case of rice cultivation, which was conducted in Andhra Pradesh by Narasimha Reddy and Vateng Narayan. In their research, the objective was to examine the changing nature of labor use in rice cultivation in Andhra Pradesh. And the major findings in their research study was that there was a decline in the use of labor, as well as there was decline in all three forms of labor, family, casual, and attached. But the share of casual labor have been increased. Also by gender, although both male and female laborers were labor used in rice cultivation were declining, the faster decline was with male, which validates our trend that is like male are out migrating while female are stayed back in the rural society. Also, there was a noticeable decline in the change in share of labor in terms of harvesting, threshing because of increasing mechanization. The second study that I would like to present is study on supply demand analysis of agriculture labor in Dharwad district by Gayatri Mohan and her co-workers. So the main objective of this study was to identify the extent of agricultural labor scarcity with special reference to Dharwad district in Karnataka and to analyze the probable reasons and response for this. So they found out that the highest labor scarcity was reported in farmers of Garak and Moral. In about 60% responded that there was labor scarcity, while the total number of farmers facing labor scarcity in the area was 54.17%. Moreover, they also enlisted the reasons for labor shortage as the highest reason was migration to nearby cities for higher wages. The second was shift to regular job because agricultural jobs are seasonal, as well as higher wages in other jobs available locally were stated as the highest reasons for labor shortage in the area. The third study is farmer strategies to cope labor shortage in northern and south dry zones of Karnataka, which was conducted by Satish Kumar and K.B. Umesh. The objective was to analyze strategies adopted by farmers to overcome the labor shortage in Sindakuru district of Raichur and in Mandya, Taluka Mandya district. So here opinion surveys were carried out and it revealed many reasons such as mechanization of operation, shifting towards less labor required crop, hiring laborers from outside the village as some of the strategies they used to supplement for the labor scarcity. In case of Raichur district, the major reasons were major strategies adopted was mechanization, followed by shift towards alternate less crop, as well as hiring laborers from other regions. While in case of Mandya district, the main strategies they adopted was intensive use of family labor, as well as shift towards alternate crops. So with this, I would like to conclude my today's presentation stating that we know that agriculture is one of the most important sector. Its contribution is paramount. And then recent labor trend reflects that agriculture sector is indeed declining, the workforce is declining, and therefore it is important for us to implement and formulate transformative interventions in order to attain and retain workforce as well as to mitigate the labor shortages in the agricultural sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharma. The seminar is open for discussion. The senior students, please raise your queries now.
Thank you.
Yes.
In one of your previous slides, you have mentioned about the term maturing economy.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you mean by maturing economy?
So we can call a country or an economy a maturing economy when the population stabilizes. Like in our country, where there was rapid growth in population after the post-independent and the pre-independent era, now it's seemingly stabilized, and there have been reduced in terms of infrastructure expenses because most of the infrastructures have been developed and it's been reduced. But there is an increase in the consumption rates. People are trying to get an access into higher paid services, and because of the improvement in the economy itself. So because of these things, we can say that our economy is maturing and that people are seeking for more higher paying economic activities, which is why agricultural laborers are migrating from agricultural sector, which is seemingly seasonal, to regular jobs and employments in services and industrial sectors. Thank you.
Told that is agriculture labor. Now that economic reform, one of the major economic reform, LPG reform, that is liberalization, privatization,
Yeah.
Is it affected the agricultural labor?
Most of this have been affected. Yes, it have been indeed affected. Because of this liberalization, there have been certain economic changes. And because of these changes, it influenced the agricultural laborers in terms of getting more economic opportunities. Because this economic reforms and liberalization, it gave path for many enterprises to excel and sprout in the cosmopolite places. So because of this, agricultural laborers often migrate to get access to these newer companies and enterprises which have been resulted out of the economic liberalization. Yeah, the main thing about economic liberalization is it gave pathway for many small industries, as in other yes, sir. Yes, but after liberalization, it gave pathways for more of them to come up. And because of this, it gave lots of opportunities for the surplus labor supplies to get opportunities in these different sectors, which is why there is a reduction in the labor, agricultural labor.
Negatively affected.
Overall, it's not. Labor, it's positively affecting them in terms of their livelihood, because they are getting access to higher economic reforms, like economic benefits. But in terms of agricultural sector, if this change is not controlled through various policies, and if we do not retain labor, we know how like our rural society is labor intensive. So if the workforce keeps on shifting to the cosmopolite places, then who will take care of the rural sector economy? So we need to retain, and as well as this change to be a controlled one. So this is what I have as according to your question.
Majorly LPG reforms in the Ahmedabad area, Mumbai, there is a textile sector is negatively affected because
Yeah.
of that liberalize the economy. So textiles sector, new technology came. New technology came. Our labor is affected because of technology came.
Yeah.
That negatively affected.
Yeah.
Positively. Which way positive?
No, positively in terms of the thing is, I'll come back to about labor, our whole sector being labor intensive, right? So when mechanization, suppose for instance in agriculture, when mechanization comes, we replaces this labor, surplus labor. So how do we like bring them back into the agricultural, like rural society? So the things that we can do is diversify them, as well as like in terms of mechanization, like you said, like newer technologies came into the textile industries. We can employ them in services such as logistics, as well as in the marketing, as well as in the operational of the technologies and stuff. So even though there will be a slight implications, overall economy, it will not implicate much.
Credit, you not mentioned the credit facility, cooperative sector. Agricultural laborers are landless.
Yeah.
We are classified as landless.
Yeah.
Suppose they ask to loan, people means banks are as collateral. They are not due
Yeah.
directly. how can we increase the credit facility to those agriculture labor?
Yes, that is the main problem that's been spoken about throughout the seminar, that because of their landless nature, these agricultural laborers are not able to benefit from various social interventions. So one thing that we can do is like we need to roll out policies which are more agricultural labor friendly, right? So in terms of getting financial benefits, such as in terms of getting pensions through Pradhan Mantri Mandan Yojana, we need to include them. We need to make policies more agricultural labor friendly by pertaining to their needs as well as economic needs. So this is what I can say regarding to your question.
Okay, lengthy and discussions can be carried presenter later. Give opportunity for others. As I told in the last class, you can see you have to give opportunity for others also. So far you asked 4 questions.
You have enough time. You can spend your time, valuable time.
He'll be there. He's here only. He's in the hostel. You can contact him. Okay, we have lengthy discussion. Okay, other questions?
Yes.
You said there is an indication of feminization in agriculture workforce.
Yes.
But still, there is a lot of wage disparities between men and women.
Yes.
So, what may be the major reason? They say that women are less skilled, do less skilled jobs. So
yeah.
Other than that, what is the main reason why still there is some wage disparities?
The way, like, as we look into the wages, it is highly gendered. That is like women and men have highly differential wage rates. The main reason is we are highly stereotyped, because when we close our eyes and think about the word farmer, the first thing comes up is male farmers. Most of the policies are gender blind. That is like they do not consider women as like being highly as productive as male are in terms of physical work, because agriculture is most of the time agricultural labor intensive. So maybe because of this, they have there is wage differentials, because mostly agricultural policies are agricultural labor wages, they are gender blind. And to ensure equal wages, there have been like mentions in the Code of Wages in 2020. But like we say, we fight for gender equality, we fight for equal wages, but this remains strong in paper. We still need to implicate many ways involve many gender transformative ways to ensure like better productivity. There will be, even though like as compared to the older generations, as compared to now, the gap between the wage rates have been declined, but still more efforts need to be done regarding making like wages more gender equal.
You said like mechanization is a positive one.
Yeah.
What's your opinion? It is necessary to the Indian condition, because we have seen like cultivators are using baby.
Yeah.
So whether mechanization is pulling them down, or what's your opinion on that? It is necessary to the Indian context or not?
So it is necessary, but we should control it, because first the thing is we need mechanization in order to cope up with the needs of the areas where there is labor scarcity, in order to ensure productivity. The second one is how mechanization replaces labor. Labor in our rural society and the agricultural society, like again I said, like it's labor intensive. If we displace these laborers from the agricultural workforce, then where will they go? So we need to ensure that these agricultural laborers are upskilled and they are absorbed in non-farm sectors such as carpentry as well as artistry and other economic sectors, so that there is a proportionate combination between the mechanization as well as like the involvement of agricultural laborers. For the time being, it is working in a balanced way, but the ratios are not coming. In the future, there might be like some conflicting reasons that like because of all mechanization, labor may be totally like substituted. But what? No, sir, it's not. Yes, sir. No, it's not possible. No, sir, because like. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you take Kerala or if you take your own state,
yes, sir.
In Karnataka, those combined harvesters, they may not be
Yes, sir.
because of fragmentation of land.
Yes, sir.
Majority are small and marginal farmers.
Yes, sir.
Again, locations, technologies are required. Then only
yes, sir.
it is possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That we are not in a position to do this.
Yes, sir.
It takes more time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hmm.
So you haven't classified like skilled, semi-skilled, what basis
So it is classified according to the levels of operational work, technicality of the work that they can be involved in. For instance, in agriculture, if they are able to operate highly mechanized tools, then they are classified as highly skilled laborers. But in terms of unskilled laborers, mostly they are just like involved in activities such as weeding, as well as like harvesting and all. They do not have much ideas about the operations of technologies such as like harvesters, as well as like other sprayers. So according to their skill levels and according to their knowledges in technologies, they are classified into skilled, semi-skilled, and highly skilled.
Whether mechanization is causing labor crisis or due to labor crisis, mechanization is strategic. Which is the cause and which is
the main thing that's happening is labor crisis. Mechanization is just being progressive. We are looking for agriculture being more productive, and mechanization gives more scopes of increasing productivity. But the trend that's been happening is it's not mechanization which is causing agricultural labor scarcity and the shift of agricultural workforce to other sectors. It's just that our economy is maturing, and because of that, human wants are increasing, and everyone is looking for higher payment, more regular employments. This is why they are shifting. And because of this, agricultural labor scarcity is happening because of our migrations to other sectors. But I would say that agricultural labor scarcity is not the main cause for mechanization. Mechanization is just that we are signed for, that we are improving in our technologies, that we are able to take up high input machines in our fields. So that's what I want to. I have opinions regarding your question.
Can you quantify any proportion? What
yes,
proportion is induced through mechanization, and what proportion is induced through the shifting of industries or shifting of workforce? Can you quantify or any come across any?
Sir, we can quantify, but I need to look into it more.
Yes, sir. What proportion
yes, sir.
is contributed
yes, sir.
Workforce as well as by the mechanization?
Yes, sir. I'll definitely look into it, sir.
Any queries from students? You think it's open to the teachers?
Yes, sir.
I don't know, you have to clarify. If you take your northeast
yes, sir.
states,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I heard that major force working in farm, they are female.
Yes, sir. It is, sir.
Male, even though they are free,
yes, sir.
they are not working free.
Yes, sir. They are
They
not.
are very lazy. They are spending the time for unnecessary things.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the reason is because of special package provided by the central government. Do you agree?
Sir, like up to some extent, I agree. But regardless of the reasoning behind that, like the government schemes are responsible for their letharginess, I need to do more reading. But in terms of like workforce, like female are very they are very active in terms of agriculture back in my northeast. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think the majority of the male,
yes, sir.
they will not work.
Yes, sir.
They expect female to work.
Yes, sir. That is happening, sir.
Particularly northeast states.
That is happening, sir. Even
So what are
in,
the strategies?
sir,
Shall we withdraw the central scheme?
no, sir. No, sir. But what we can do is we can transfer the benefit. Yes, sir.
They make male lazy.
Yes, sir. Sir, so the strategies we can involve is that, like, first we do a time use survey analysis on to identify the workload the male and female are working. According to that, if we see that if we give entitlement of these benefits to those who are working more hours in the agricultural labor, through that we can bring about transformative changes, sir.
Again, you are one of the strategies.
Yes, sir.
Empower women.
Yes, sir.
If you empower women,
Yes, sir.
people,
No, sir.
they direct them to work.
That depends on how the family work functions, sir.
What about in your side?
Sir, in my area, like, yes, sir.
General opinion is, I don't know in your state exactly.
Yes, sir.
In southern state,
Mm.
I think 70% of the work carried out by the
Women.
women.
Yes, sir.
If you take simple edit,
Yes, sir.
all the activities,
Yes,
all
sir.
the activities carried out by women.
Yes, sir.
Even in other crop, even if you take ragi, harvesting will be done women only.
Yes, sir.
They are more efficient,
Yes, sir.
but they are getting less price,
Yes, sir.
less wages
Mm.
than male.
Yes, sir.
Then in such situations, how to empower?
Sir, in such situations, that's what I said. Like, we need to make our agricultural policies and beneficiary more gender aware, gender sensitive, so that, like, the implementations and wages are being transferred more to those who are actually involved in the sector, regardless of, like, the proxy candidates, such as, like, who are not involved in agricultural activities themselves.
Apart from that,
Yes, sir.
we are not covered. There are success stories.
Yes, sir.
Particularly if you take anybody from Kerala.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard Kudumbashree?
No, sir, I haven't heard, sir.
Okay, anybody from Kerala? Have you heard Kudumbashree? What is the role? I think that the group, they are very active, particularly in the paddy area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They will demand the price.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think if they form such organizations also, they can.
Yes, sir.
It is again my opinion. I think it is possible in Kerala because of maybe communist background.
Yes,
It is
sir.
not possible in other states, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You say for everything, yes, sir.
Sir, because
You are from Tripura?
no, sir, I'm from Manipur, sir.
Manipur.
Yes, sir.
Communist dominated.
No, sir. It's not coming. Earlier,
Tripura and others, actually, they are communist dominated states.
yes, sir. But for us, it's not community. Communist dominated area, sir.
Actually, in Kerala, they will demand.
Yes, sir.
From sowing to harvest. They will demand wages. So if such organizations are established by the women, definitely you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll definitely look into it and incorporate in my report, sir. Thank you, sir.
One last query. What is your opinion about the employment crisis and labor crisis? How it performs in the rural areas?
Sir.
Or trends?
Yes, sir. In case of employment crisis, it covers all the unorganized sectors, such as the other non-farm sectors as well. But in terms of, like, agricultural labor crisis is mainly, like, predominant in the agricultural sector, where we deal, like, we try to ensure that they have proper employable skills in order to, like, for them to get.
Yes, sir. Whether it is crisis is increasing trend or decreasing trend, employment or are they going together?
Sir, like,
because of the education.
Yes, sir. But sir, like, the thing is, like, employment in general sectors are increasing, but in terms of agricultural sector, it's decreasing, sir.
what about how to channelize these demand deficits? So it's the crisis comes out of the gap between the demand and supply of the labor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to overcome? Sometimes mismatch happens because of
Yes,
also
sir. Yes, sir.
the deficit occurs in some patches. Another patch it will be surplus, one place it will be.
Yes, sir.
Pressure difference could be there.
Yes, sir.
So how it is balanced in urban area compared to the rural area?
Sir, the main thing of how we can balance is like in urban areas, most of the whatever labor they have, like it's mostly organized. But in case of agricultural labor areas, it's not organized.
What is
Yes,
the platforms that is available in urban area that can
Yes, sir.
be thought of or tried in the rural areas?
Sir, the main thing about the urban area is that they register their laborers who are actually working in factories and manufacturing. So if we can roll out like schemes which we can enroll like farmers, agricultural laborers register, then we can sort of counter the imbalance.
And that is a story
Yes,
of
sir.
80s and 90s. But
Yes, sir.
now in the information technology era,
Yes,
you can
sir.
see you want a small labor for repairing this AC.
Yes, sir.
We are not going to any organized platform.
Yes, sir.
Where we'll approach
Urban club.
urban club. So
Yes, sir.
many apps, applications are coming up or dial
Yes, sir.
just there. Like
Yes,
so
sir.
many sites are there. The moment you put a request, tens of people will come and they
Yes,
will be
sir.
bombarding into your mobile to come for service.
Yes, sir.
Okay, similarly, in Kerala's in continuation to the last query, they have formed some green army wherein the laborers are organized and wherever there is a demand for labor, they are sending in through that platform.
Yes,
So
sir.
like the organized platform need to be developed for the rural areas.
Yes,
So
sir.
that as it is done in the urban area, that can be done. And they now no problem. The apps are applicable in rural areas also, unlike in
Yes, sir.
urban areas.
Yes, sir.
Even in small numbers also they can cater.
Yes, sir.
So that sort of things we can suggest.
Yes, sir.
One thing, you studied empty poverty and employment scheme.
Yes, sir.
How it is correlated with the agricultural labor crisis?
So the main thing is like this employment generation schemes, they provide like off-season employments. So agriculture, as we know, it's like seasonal in nature. So like in order to retain this agricultural workforce who usually out-migrate to other sectors, why these schemes ensure that rural infrastructures are developed so that they can be involved in the rural economy. At the same time, they are kept close to the parameters of the agricultural sector, which is why like I have presented like the employment generation schemes. For instance, MG Narega, it provides like 100 days of employment, which are mostly done during the off-season period to ensure like there is a flow of income in the agricultural labors, as well as like they are able to involve themselves in the agricultural activities as well. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Last
Rajat.
one question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you slide, which is a labor management crisis or labor crisis?
It's the labor management crisis, sir. Yes, sir.
This way.
Because like they do not have access to mechanization, as well as we can clearly see that they are like resource poor farmers. They do not have kettles, which is why women is supplementing as the kettles, and it is such a sorry state, sir. So like we definitely need to inspire ourselves through this picture to work for the agricultural laborers.
Thank you, Meghajith.
Thank you, sir.
Now we go to the last thing of the day, the email. The centrally sponsored skills.
Good morning to everyone. I welcome all of you for my first seminar on an overview of centrally sponsored agricultural schemes. The farmer has to be an optimist, or he wouldn't still be a farmer, by Will Rogers. So coming to the introduction. So as we all know that agriculture plays a vital role in Indian economy. So our government of India has set up several steps of sustainable agriculture. Steps have to be taken for micro through soil health card and to provide access to irrigation and water use efficiency through Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana, and to promote the organic farming through Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, and to provide the support and creation of unified national agricultural market to boost the income of the farmers, and to mitigate the risk of the farmers by through Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And this central government has providing the various developmental initiatives at the state level, and these schemes are supplementary affected by the state level. And earlier there were more than 40 schemes were there, central sponsored schemes. So now most of the schemes were removed after the suggestion of the 14th Finance Commission was implemented. So coming to the difference between the central sector scheme and central sponsored schemes, here the fund should be 100% fund should be allocated by the union government for central sector schemes. For central sponsored schemes, it is jointly funded by the central and the state. So with these introductions, my seminar has been conceptualized with the following objectives: to know the concept of agriculture development, to know the features of central sponsored agriculture schemes in operations, to review the related research studies. So coming to the first, agriculture development. So agriculture development means to providing the assistance to the crop produce with the help of the various agricultural resources. And coming to the definition, there are two definitions given by two authors. First definition is according to the Udamezzo and Osbigo. He has given that agriculture development is defined as improving the quality of life in rural areas, ensuring the enough for food for present and future generations, and generating sufficient income for the farmers. So another one definition was given by John Legislia. So he defined as the process that creates a condition for the fulfillment of the agricultural potential. Those conditions include the accumulation of knowledge and availability of technology, as well as allocation of inputs and outputs. So coming to the history, so India after the independence, there are so many developmental programs were came. In the year of 1951 to 56, it is first 5-year plan. So in that time they are given more importance to increasing the production of agricultural production, and in first 5-year plan. So during that time, in 1950, the community development program was also given. Along with that, some of the improvements like animal husbandry, fisheries, and marketing, they are given more importance to this. So when in the year of 1961, so during this period, they are totally shifted to agriculture to industry. They are given more importance to industrial sector compared to agriculture. So in this year, during 1961, the only 21% of the expenditure was spent to the agriculture sector. So when it comes to 1969, so the main aim during this period is they are increasing the production to meet the needs of the industrial export. And when it comes to 1969, so 1969, during that time, the adoption of the high yield variety program was carried out to increase the production and productivity in agriculture. So this is the crucial condition for the Indian agriculture, 1969 to 1970 this period. And our government of India has set up the Agricultural Price Commission to assure that the minimum support price can get the farmers. And during the 1980s, 1990s, during that time, so many development programs were came, like rice production technology in northeastern states, and national development of watershed, and national oil seeds and oil palm production. And when it comes to from 2000 to 2020, still now there are so many developmental programs were came. Not only the agriculture programs, so many other programs were also came, like IRDP, DACA, and Engineering, midday meal, Sava Shikshan Abhiyana, RKVY, Atma. So like that, so many development has been occurred till now. So today, these are the list of current central sponsored schemes today I want to cover in this seminar. So coming to the first one, that is the neem coated urea. So it was started in 2008. So initially only the 20% of urea was produced. Later on 25th May 2015, it is considered 100% of neem coated urea has to be mandated. This neem coated urea is nothing but the urea which is coated with neem tree seed oil. So it's called neem coated urea. And coming to the objectives of this scheme, objectives of the scheme. So the scheme is initiated to regulate the use of urea, enhance the availability of nitrogen to the crop, and reduce the cost of fertilizer application, and to reduce the cost of cultivation and improve the soil health management. And it is 100% financed by the central government. And the main aim of this scheme is the government has mandated for the urea manufacturers to increase their production from 35 to 75%. And during the 12th five-year plan, the cabinet approves continuation of ongoing subsidy scheme. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he has approved that continuation of the scheme subsidy under 2019 and 20 with the estimated cost of rupees 1,64,935 crore. And coming to the next scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So it was launched on 18 February 2016 by Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi. So this scheme is formulated with the line that is one nation, one theme, by replacing the earlier two schemes, that is National Agricultural Crop Insurance and the Modified National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. And coming to the objectives, it provides the financial support to the farmers suffering from crop loss or damage arising out from unforeseen events, stabilizing the income of the farmers to ensure their continuation in farming, encourage the farmers to adopt innovative and modern agricultural practices. So main aim of this scheme is to comprehensive cover against the failure of the crop, thus helping stabilizing the income of the farmers. And another main aim is to it covers all the food and oilseed crops and also annual horticulture and commercial crops. So here the beneficiaries covered under this scheme is 4,87,49,066, and it is 50/50 by the central and state government funding pattern. And coming to the next scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So it was launched on 1st July 2015 with the motto of Har Khet Ko Pani, or more crop per drop. So this scheme, it's not only focusing on azure irrigation, but also it's focusing on protective irrigation, like harnessing the rainwater with the at micro level with Jala Sinchan and Jala Sinchan. So coming to the objectives, it's convergence of investment of irrigation at the field level, expand the cultivable area under irrigation, and improve the on-farm water use efficiency to reduce the wastage of water. So beneficiaries covered under this scheme is for 4,66,49,066, and it is 100% financed by the central government. So coming to the micro irrigation fund scheme, so it was launched on 1st July 2015, and it is implemented by the Department of Agricultural Cooperation and Farmers Welfare, which helps to improve the micro irrigation, which helps in micro irrigation like drip and sprinkler method, irrigation of method. And coming to these objectives, expanding the area under micro irrigation, encouraging the farmers to establish a micro irrigation system and improve the efficiency of water usage, especially during the drought seasons, and supporting the activities per drop, more crop, motor into component. So main aim of this scheme is to encourage the farmers to install the micro irrigation systems like drip and sprinkler. So beneficiaries under this scheme, so here in this schemes, they have provided for all not only for small and marginal farmers, they have given for big farmers also, irrespective of their land size. So they are also willing to install the micro irrigation system, and they are also eligible to claim their benefits under this scheme. And coming to the funding pattern, it is 100% financed by the central government. And coming to the rainfed area development program, so this program was launched in the year 2011 and 12 as a sub-scheme under Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. So this rainfed area is mainly mainly focusing on integrated farming system to enhance the productivity and minimizing the risk associated with the climatic variabilities. And coming to the objectives, to increase the agricultural productivity of rainfed areas in sustainable manner by adopting the appropriate farming system on based approaches, to minimize the adverse impact of crop failure due to flood, drought, or uneven rainfall distribution through diversified and composite farming systems. So main aim of this scheme is to improve the quality life of the farmer and giving farmer them to complete package of activities to maximize the farm returns. And beneficiaries covered under this scheme is to 40,11,547, and it is 100% financed by the central government. And coming to the next scheme, that is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. So the government of India was launched this scheme during the 12th five-year plan. So it was formulated. It is mainly focusing on enhanced agricultural productivity, especially in the rainfed areas, and it mainly focus on integrated farming, water use efficiency, soil health management, and synergizing the resource conservation. And coming to the objectives of this scheme, so to make the agriculture more productive, sustainable, remunerative, and climate resilient by promoting location-specific integrated or composite farming systems, to conserve the natural resources through the appropriate soil and moisture conservation measures, to optimize the utilization of water resources through efficient water management to expand coverage for achieving more crop per crop. So coming to the next scheme, it is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. So it was launched on the 12th September 2019. It is recently launched by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Pradhani Narendra Modi, and with the motive of to secure the lives of the farmers and decrease the death rates of the farmers. It is 100% financed by the central government. So coming to the objective of this scheme, so this is the pension scheme for all the small and marginal farmers, and to secure the lives of the farmers, to provide the proper development skills and social security. And the main features of the schemes are here: any farmer can apply, or he can apply. It is a voluntary contribution to the pension fund. The pension amount will be paid by the pension fund, which managed by the Life Insurance Corporation of India. Here, the 18 to 40 years, 18 to up to 40 years of the farmers are eligible to get the pension from this scheme, and the farmers has to pay from 55 to 200 rupees. Has to pay to the pension fund. And if spouses of the small and marginal farmers, they can also have the facility. They can also have the permission to claim under this scheme, and they will get separate pension from this. And coming to the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, so it was launched on 24 February 2019 by Narendra Modi in Uttar Pradesh, Gorakhpur, 100% financed by central government. So here in this scheme, the total 14 crore beneficiaries has to be covered under the scheme, and 50,850 crores already has released, and 8 crore 46 lakh farmers families are covered. So it will provide a financial support 6,000 rupees per year to the farmers. And coming to the objective of this scheme, to provide income support to all the eligible landholding farmers and their families, and PM Kisan scheme also aims to supplement the financial needs of the farmers in procuring the various inputs to ensure the proper crop health and appropriate yields to commensurate with the anticipated farm income. And coming to the next scheme, that is National Food Security Mission, it was launched during the year 2007 to 8 to increase the cultivation and production of the pulses, wheat, and rice crops. It is 100% centrally sponsored scheme. So main objective of the scheme is to increasing the production of rice, wheat, pulses, coarse cereals, commercial crops like cotton, sugarcane, and nutritious cereals like jawar, bajra, and ragi through the area expansion and productivity enhancement in sustainable manner in the identified districts of the country, and restoring the soil fertility and productivity at the individual farm level. And the main aim of this scheme is to increase the production and productivity under rice, wheat, and pulses, and to raise the income of the farmers, and to ensure that the food security in the country. And coming to the soil health card, so this scheme was launched in the year of 19 February 2015 in Suratgarh in Rajasthan by Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India. So this is the soil health card report which the farmers will get. So this soil health card consists of his name, survey number, and latitude and longitude, and his taluk, district. And the main parameters are it consists of macronutrients like NPK, and micronutrients like zinc, boron, iron, and secondary nutrients like sulfur, calcium, and magnesium, and the physical parameters like pH, electron carbon, and organic carbon. So December 5 has celebrated as an International Soil Day in our India, in our country. So coming to the objectives of the scheme, these schemes are to issue the soil health cards to the farmers for every 2 years, so as to provide a basis to address the nutritional deficiency in fertilizer practices. Soil testing is developed to promote soil test based on nutrient management. Soil testing reduces the cultivation cost by application of right quantity of fertilizers. So coming to the next scheme, that is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. So this scheme was launched in the 2015 with the main aim of to promote the organic farming. And coming to the objectives, to promote the organic farming among rural youth or farmers, consumers, or traders, so disseminate the latest technologies in organic farming and utilize the services of the experts from public agriculture extension systems in India. So the main aim of this scheme is to promote the organic farming and the reduction in chemical use of fertilizers in agricultural sector, and improvement in soil health while increasing the rates. And coming to the funding pattern of this scheme, so 60:40 by the central and state, and 90:10 for northeastern status. And for union territories, is 100% sponsor, 100% assistance. And coming to the next scheme, that is Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. So this National Development Council of India was launched this scheme RKI during the year of 2007. So coming to the objective of this program, to incentivize the states that increase their investment in agriculture and allied sectors, and to provide the flexibility and autonomy to the states in planning and executing the programs for agriculture, to ensure the preparation of agricultural plans for the districts and states, and to achieve the goals of the reducing the yield gaps in the important crops, to maximize the returns to the farmers, and to address the agriculture and allied sectors in an integrated manner. So this scheme is mainly focused on areas like agriculture, fisheries, animal husbandry, watershed management, and ICT in agriculture, and for farmer service conditions. And coming to the main aim of the scheme, so its main aims to sustain the desired annual growth during the 11th plan period to ensure the holistic development in agriculture and allied sectors. And coming to the funding pattern, it is 100% central sponsored scheme, and for Northeastern state, it is 90:10. For Union Territory, it is 100%. And coming to the next scheme, the National Mission on Agriculture Extension and Technology. So it was launched in the year of 2014. And coming to the main objective of this scheme, to spread the farm extension services and mechanization, to make the availability and quality seeds and increase the seed replacement ratio, and to promote integrated pest management and plant protection measures. The main aim of this scheme is to restructure the strengthen the agriculture extension and provide the appropriate technologies at the appropriate time to improve the agronomic practices to the farmers. And there are sub-missions of National Mission on Agriculture Extension Technology. That is the submission on agriculture extension, and submission on seed and planting material, submission on agricultural mechanization. So submission on agriculture extension is mainly focused on creation of awareness, use appropriate technologies in agriculture and allied sectors. This submission on seed and planting material, it mainly focuses on adoption of the quality of seed to increase the agricultural production and productivity. And the submission on agricultural mechanization, it's mainly focused on farm mechanization. And coming to the next scheme, that is National Mission on Oil Seeds and Oil Palm. So it is initiated with 12 5-year plan. It is implemented in 12 states, and it is 100% support is being provided by the Indian Institute of Oil Palm Research, that is Kadavagi and Andhra. So coming to the objective of this scheme, so the National Mission on Oil Seeds, Oil Palm envisages increase in production of vegetable oil sourced from oil seeds, oil palm, and tree-borne oil seeds by the end of the 12th plan, that is during the year of 2016 and 17. And here the 75:25 between the central and state governments, and 90:10 for the northeastern states. The main aim of the scheme is to increase the production of oilseed and oil palm. And coming to some of the key features of this mission, there are 3 missions under this National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm was launched. These 3 missions under the mini mission first. So here under the mini mission, they are given more. They are given more focus, or they are given more increase in production of major oilseed crops grown in India under the mini mission first. Under the mini mission second, and they are given more importance to oil palm cultivation area and increasing the production of oil palm. And under the mini mission third, here the major tree-borne oilseeds. So these are the tree oilseeds. These are good for planting material in expanded area. Coming to the next thing, that is National E-Governance Plan Agriculture. So it was launched in only 7 selected states in the year of 2010 and 11. So after that, this scheme has subsequently extended in the second phase to cover all the states and 2 union territories during the year of 2014 and 15. So coming to the main objective of this scheme, improving the outreach of the extension services, providing farmers with a greater access to the information as well as the various services coming under the scheme with the help of the crop cycle program, and enhancement and integration of existing information, communication technologies initiatives of the both center as well as the state governments. The main aim of this scheme is to rapid development in India through the information communication technology to timely access the agriculture and agriculture related information for the farmers. It is the funding pattern is 90:10 for northeastern states and 60:40 for central states, and 100% share for union territories. And coming to the mobile applications, so under this scheme, these are the applications which provide the agriculture related information to the farmers. The first one is Kisan Suvidha. So it provides, this mobile application provides information about the weather, market price, and plant protection, etc. And the second one is Pusa Krishi mobile application. So it provides the information regarding the latest farming and appropriate technologies. And third is crop insurance. So this mobile application provides the information about the insurance schemes with various crops. And third and second agri market. So this mobile application provides the information about the existing market price with the various crops to the farmers. And last one is India's weather. So it provides information about the weather across the country. And coming to the Agriculture Technology Management Agency, so this scheme was launched during the 2005 and 6. So it is a society of key stakeholders. It's involved in agriculture and activities for sustainable development in the district. So coming to the objectives of this scheme, to strengthen the research extension farmer linkages, to increase the quality and type of technologies being disseminated, to move towards the shared ownership of the agriculture technology system by the key shareholders, and to develop the new partnership with the private institutions, including non-government organizations. So here the funding patterns should be supported by the central government, that is 90 by central government and 10% by the state government. And coming to the roles and responsibilities of the ATMA, here the ATMA would be supported by the governing board and management committee. So governing board is nothing but it is a policy making body and which provide advisory and which it provides guidance as well as the review progress and functioning of the ATMA is the governing board. And management committee, so it would be a management committee would be responsible for planning and executing the day-by-day activities of the ATMA. So coming to the next, that is brief comparison of centrally sponsored agricultural schemes. So with these centrally sponsored agriculture schemes with their major purposes, that is first an input urea to enhance the nitrogen availability. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, it is an insurance cover against the failure of the crop. This Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana, so irrigation supply. Micro irrigation fund, the installation of irrigation system like drip and sprinkler, and RADP, improve the quality life of the farmer by adopting the appropriate farming, and National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. So they are given main focusing on integrated farming, soil health management, and water is efficiency. And PM Kisan Mandan Yojana. So they are given pension to the farmers 3,000 rupees after their retirement stage at 60 years. And PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. So they provide the financial support to the farmers in a year, that is 6,000 per year. And National Food Security Mission, National Food Security Mission. So the main purpose is to increase the production of the targeted crops. And coming to the beneficiaries covered under centrally sponsored agriculture schemes, among the 16 centrally sponsored agriculture schemes, the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana has the highest beneficiaries covered, that is 14 crore. It is during 2019 year. And coming to the funds allotted to the different centrally sponsored agriculture schemes, the Neem Kuted Urea has the highest funds allotted to this scheme, that is 1,64,935 crore during 2019 and 20. When it comes to 2018, the National E-Governance for Plant Agriculture, that is 2,65,670 crore has been funds allotted to this scheme. And coming to the implementing agency, Neem Kuted Urea, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana program, and PM Kisan Samman Yojana and National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture are implemented by the Department of Agriculture Cooperation and the Ministry of Farmers Welfare, Government of India with the help of state governments. And Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana was implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Water Resources and Rural Development. And this micro irrigation fund also implemented by the Ministry of Farmers Welfare and implementing agency appointed by the state government. And RADP is implemented by the State Agriculture Department nodal agency for implementation of RKVK. Will also be implementing the RADP. And National Food Security Mission and ATMA. So these two schemes are implemented by the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation and Ministry of Farmers Welfare with Government of India with the help of state governments. And there are project directors, district directors in ATMA. And in soil health card, it's implemented to the Department of Agriculture from all the state and union territories. And Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana is implemented through the Department of Agriculture of all the states. And RKVY, so the State Agriculture Department should be nodal department for this implementation of this scheme. The National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm, that is Oilseed Divisions, Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare are implement this scheme. And coming to the sharing of funds between the central and state, so out of 16 schemes, there are 9 schemes that contribute 100% financed by the central government compared to others. And coming to the research studies, performance of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in Hyderabad, Karnataka, that is HK region, by Aditya Karyappa in 2018. The study was done in 6 districts of HK region. Coming to the table 1, that is fiscal and financial performance of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in HK region during the Kharif 2016. So this table shows that in HK region, 41,05,189 of number of farmers are insured and 13.58 lakh areas insured. Among the 6 districts of HK region, so Bidar district contributing the highest number of farmers insured and 4.70 lakh areas insured, whereas Bellary district has the lowest number of farmers are insured and 1.20 lakh area was insured under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in HK region during the Kharif 2016. And coming to the table 2, that is distribution of farmers, area issued, premium and claims received under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana by HK district during the Kharif 2016. So among all the 6 districts, the Bidar district has contributing the major area issued, that is 15.83, and premium claims, gross premium, that is 15.31, and claims received 18.85, and the major farmers are benefited, that is 23.72 compared to other districts. And coming to the Enduron research study, that is impact of soil health card scheme on paddy farmers income in northeastern Karnataka by Abhishek et al. So the study was done in 2 taluks of Raichur district, namely Sinnur and Raichur. So coming to the table of, that is soil health card distribution in Raichur district, among the 5 taluks of Raichur district, the Sinnur taluk is contributing the highest number of soil samples, that is 24,688, and highest number of farmers 49,665, and highest number of soil health card is to be distributed in Sinnur taluk, that is 49,389. And coming to the table 2, so table 2 shows that the cost and returns realized by the farmers under paddy cultivation. So the returns under paddy cultivation, that is gross returns obtained by the soil health card users, that is 1,46,160, which is 1,46,160 for soil health card users, comparatively higher than soil health card non-users, that is 1,37,837. And the net returns obtained for soil health card users, that is 53,852, which is comparatively higher than the soil health card non-user, that is 42,618. And return per rupee of investment for soil health card user is higher than soil health card non-users, that is 1.58 rupees per return per rupees per investment for soil health card non-users. Returns per rupees per investment for soil health card non-users for 1.45. So as per the teacher suggestions, I conducted a study on farmers awareness of centrally sponsored agriculture schemes in Kolar district. So the present study was conducted in Kolar district. I have selected the 2 taluks in Kolar district, that is Kolar and Mulbagal taluk. In Kolar taluk, I have selected 2 villages, that is Chuguture and Totle, and in Mulbagal taluk, I have selected 2 villages, that is Bairkuru and Gudipalli. So I have selected from each of the taluk, I have selected 15 respondents for collection of data by using simple random sampling method. Thus total sample will be consisting of 30. So this table shows that the farmers' awareness of centrally sponsored agriculture schemes in Kolar districts. Among all the 16 centrally sponsored agriculture schemes, the 3 schemes are contributing the equal share of percentage, that is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Mandan Yojana, Atma, and soil health card has soil health card. So these schemes have more farmers awareness these schemes have the awareness of awareness to the farmers, that is contributing 93.33% compared to other schemes. And coming to the conclusion, so till now the government of India is providing introducing various schemes, developmental programs to the farmers to decrease the death rate of the farmers and to give the benefit to the farmers and to improve the socio-economic status of the farmers. Only the beneficiary farmers are taking the benefit from this implemented scheme. Still, the government has to make aware or giving advertisement to the other farmers to take benefit from this implemented schemes.
Thank you, everyone. Now the seminar is open for discussion.
There are many more schemes being implemented by many ministries in our country, right?
Okay.
What's the reason that you take only these schemes?
So there are more than 35 schemes are there. So I have covered only major which is contributing major schemes. I mean important schemes. Yeah. Not like that. Those schemes also important, but comparatively those schemes, so these schemes are important too.
All agricultural scheme, not
so all agricultural schemes.
You have shortlisted only the
agriculture
pertaining to agriculture, not on the angle of importance.
This policy, scheme, program, act, all are same, all are synonyms like that.
What? Policy?
Policy, scheme, program, act, all are same.
See, Abhishek, scheme is a large scale set of activities. Means a program is a set of related activities. Program is comes under schemes. If any programs, it comes under the main schemes. Main schemes have the program sub-scheme programs.
Programs big.
I know schemes are bigger, programs are lower.
Who is the eligibility for the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman? Means eligibility criteria. All farmers are eligible.
All the farmers.
Okay. Thank you.
It's presented one data like only three schemes. Farmers were aware of only three schemes.
Okay, in Kolar district. Yeah.
What is the reason why they are not getting?
Yeah, definitely. So these three schemes are one scheme is providing financial support to the farmers, that is 6,000 per year. So they will know if ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ almost farmers ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. Another one is soil health card. In almost all the KVK will suggest the farmers to take the soil report. And last one is Atma. Atma is working under each district. Right? Sir? So KVK will suggest to the farmers, and farmers will suggest, and the farmers ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So farmers in the next ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
Who are responsible for issuing the soil health card?
RSKs.
Not the money in every scheme, either cash or kind will be extended. That is a basic. Okay. They will get benefit either of the case. Okay. And you have to tell why that is getting more awareness, which attracts them to enroll. Whether the eligibility is there for all the people. Because some of the schemes eligibility itself is not there.
Maybe they are aware of soil health card. They are not issued cards.
They themselves covered.
My project village, in all 9 villages, in 9 districts, they have not received soil health card. Soil health report. They don't have. Maybe they are aware of soil card ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದಷ್ಟೇ. Again, related to ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Is it possible only because of soil health card
increase in income
or increase?
So he
just distributing 100,000 soil health card ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು.
Sir,
see, your statement says that because of distribution of soil health card, gross income and net income must increase compared to what is that? Non-users.
So main research for that is sir ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ soil health card distribute ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್. ಅವಾಗ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ the productivity and production will be increased in paddy culture.
How much fertilizer?
So they will recommend the fertilizer to the farmers.
You have not conducted the research. He has conducted. Have you gone through that? What is that they have given substantiation?
Research they have
Because
quoted
they
is
the production
So
data.
they are given this reason.
same research.
Same reason.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋರು ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ is it possible only because of distribution of soil health card can we increase the yield? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್, ಈವನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್. ರೈತರು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈವನ್ ಈಗಲೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಓನ್ಲಿ PAP. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? That is a actual problem. It is the responsibility of the department, not just distributing the card. After distributing the card, they have to educate. They have to conduct the meetings in the village. They have to create awareness, importance of potash ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ deficiency ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? I think these studies, I think they have not conducted that. Whether they have applied recommended quantity of nutrients or not. Just they have taken
Distribution.
Just they have taken soil health card distribution. ಯಾರು ತಗೊಂಡಿ non users and
adjust ಮಾಡಿ income ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. Again it is ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
in difference in returns per rupee of investment, 1.58 for biological users and 1.45 for
percentage of premium insured under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and how the farmers will claim the amount.
So there is actually I don't know what is the exact premium we'll give to the farmers under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana.
Farmers have to insure some premium. Means if they are availing benefits from Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, they have to insure some amount against their crops. How much premium is fixed by the government to against that?
Premium structure.
1.5% Rabi crops. Additional cost of crops 5%.
Is the flagship program or pilot program are same?
Flagship program and
Pilot program.
okay. Pilot program.
Difference between flagship program and pilot program. He is saying he can better explain.
I think pilot means in a particular area, selected districts. Only selected districts. Pilot.
Okay, flagship. The difference between flagship and pilot is in the initial stage, maybe trying some new in a small scale. Okay, but flagship program means a particular state or particular university will identify this is the most thrust area that needs to be addressed at immediate concern. The technology will be new or old, but the state or the particular unit, they will think that under their jurisdiction it has to be promoted at the faster rate in the immediate future. So in that case, they will fix that as a flagship program. That means more and more funds and focus will be given from that institute or the state. That is flagship program. It may not be a recent or old tech. So flagship means that means the particular area is given prominence.
Micro irrigation program. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಕ್ಲರ್ I think sprinkler component that will be covered by the agriculture department. Drip component that will be covered by agriculture. Even your agriculture department for that they will not give drip material or they will not give subsidy. Only they are restricted only for sprinkler.
Is there any provision for establishment of processing unit under NMOOP? No, most probably no. No, there is no processing unit. That is National Mission on Oilseeds.
Under this
Andhra Pradesh. Yeah, the area is going to be increased according to your slides. Whether there is a provision for establishment of processing units under that program? National Mission Oilseeds. Yeah, I mean, they are given more importance to increase in the production of oilseeds and oil palm. Provision.
Processing units to public and private sector, not for the farmers.
Individual farmers.
Not they are giving, but to the private and public sector they are giving around 60% of the subsidy.
64.
You have mentioned like first scheme only neem coated urea. What is the benefit to the farmers? Why that centrally they are sponsoring to that? What is the benefit farmers are getting from that scheme?
Yes, Anita, this neem coated urea. It's completely different from plain urea. It's completely different from plain urea. So This neem coated urea, it's coated with neem tree seed oil. And its main difference is it compared to the plain urea, it 10% of nitrogen efficiency is more in neem coated urea. It helps in the improvement in soil fertility and growth of agricultural production. So that's why they given more importance to neem coated urea scheme.
Lower releasing ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀವು ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳೋಣ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ 16 ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಇದು ಸೋಫಾರ್ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ನೀಮ್ ಕೋಟೆಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ when that program was launched
2019
8 ಈಗ 13 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ ಈ 13 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಈಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಏರಿಯಾ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಏರಿಯಾ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅಂಡರ್ ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಕ್ಲರ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ತರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ನೋಡಿ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ತರಬೇಕು ಈ ನೀವು PhD ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಅವ್ರು ಬೇಜಾರಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಂದು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಏನು ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯ ಬೀದರ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದ ರೀಸನ್
Drought condition is more in Bidar.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮಲ್ನಾಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂರ್ತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೀದರು ನಾನು ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ ಬಟ್ those who are working in Bidar they say that it is like a food ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ ನೀನು ಅರ್ಥಾಯ್ತಾ ನೀನ್ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ ನಿನ್ ಕೋಲಾರ ಆಯ್ತು ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ ಕೋಲಾರ ಆಯ್ತು ವಾಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೀದರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿನ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ
Okay, sir.
ಅಂತದ್ದು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೇನ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಜರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬೀದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಈವನ್ ಪ್ಯಾಡಿನೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಆಸ್ ಎ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮೇಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಮೇ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಆ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಯು ಮೇ ಗೆಟ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಹೈಪೋಥೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ನೀವು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಯಾಕೆ ವೈ ಬೀದರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಗಲೇ ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಆ ತರ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ ಇನ್ಯಾರು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದೇ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಗೆ ನೋ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್
No, sir. This pension scheme is eligibility.
ಯಾರು ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಅವನು ಮನೆಗೆ ಮಲಿಕ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವನು ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಆ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದರ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಪುಷ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಹೌ ಟು ಪುಷ್.
Sir, by making awareness and making the advertisement of the scheme to get the benefit from this scheme, implemented schemes.
ಎಲ್ಲ ವಾಲ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
So not only wall writing.
ನಲ್ಲೂ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Still we are not in a position.
Yes, sir.
What are the other strategies? Is there any other strategy?
Some
crop insurance ಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ರೈತರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ?
So maybe there some maybe our ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಬರ್ದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ and that means the procedure should be as far as possible. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕೊಡೋದಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ is possible. Apart from that, ಏನು awareness see soil health card, I think ಯಾರು M.Sc ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. The problem is see, they will not take soil samples from all the farmers. ಅಲ್ವಾ ಯಾರೋ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ತಗೊಂಡು ಜನರಲೈಸೇಷನ್ they will make generalization. That is a major problem actually. See, you cannot compare drainage farmer with the irrigated farmer. The nutrient status is different. You general recommendation ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಆ ಊರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ರಿಚ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀವು maybe it is there in case of irrigated land ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಲೈಕ್ ಅವನು ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವರು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, maybe rich, but may not be the same case in case of rainfed situation. But the soil health card ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ
showing all the parameters.
ಆ ಊರದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಮನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. pH
showing parameters same.
ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಕಲೈನ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಇದ್ರುವೆ pH ಸೇಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
Yes.
That is a major problem.
Thank you.
Sir. Yeah, this Atma was implemented in Karnataka by 2005-16, but no review study on impact of Atma. It's a very popular program.
Yes, sir.
There are so many studies on impact.
Yes, sir. There are still so many studies on.
Also, you can include in the seminar.
Okay, sir.
So Atma was not introduced at this time. Initially, it was in selected districts only. It was introduced on a pilot basis in 2004. Only during 2007 and 8, it was upscaled to all the districts.
Any impact study on this thing? Atma, I can include.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇದಾವೆ ನಿಮ್ದು, ಯಾಕೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
So many studies on
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.